Hey everybody, welcome to How Do I Know You with your hosts Mark and Dwayne.
What up?
And today's topic is...
Today's topic is a bunch of topics. How about that? It's another edition of the Open Forum.
Not much happened this week, folks.
Not much of anything happened this week. So, we're going to pull some things that we found were interesting to talk about. And hopefully you guys will still get all debatey with us. Or not debatey, or you just agree. Just agree with us.
Yeah, just
We're not really into here. We're not here to
our
debate.
word as the truth.
We debate with each other, but that's about it. I don't want to
Just
hear
watch us.
Your
Yeah.
comments, complaints, concerns. Give a shit. No, I'm playing. But something that came out this week was actor Jason Mitchell. Jason Mitchell was, I guess, his biggest role or most famous role was he was Eazy-E in Straight Outta Compton. So he played Eazy-E in the Straight Outta Compton film. He was dropped by his agency and the two shows he was on currently for sexual harassment allegations. And to be, I guess, for us to be more exact or more, let's get in depth on that situation, I'll read from an actual source. We're getting better, guys. We have sources and shit. Yeah. Still not doing research, though. This was just Googled like 2 minutes ago, so. This is from the HollywoodReporter.com. It states, in the wake of multiple allegations of misconduct, Straight Outta Compton star Jason Mitchell has been terminated by his agent and manager and dropped from Showtime's The Chi and upcoming Netflix film Desperados. Showtime, Netflix, and Fox 21, which produces The Chi, declined to comment. A source with knowledge of the Showtime series says Tiffany Boone, who played Mitchell's girlfriend on The Chi, was among several actresses on the series who had issues with Mitchell. She made repeated complaints of sexual harassment and allegedly felt unsafe with her co-star that at times her fiancé, Dear White People actor Markay Richardson, came to set when she shot scenes with him. Boone declined to comment. The source also says Boone ultimately informed producers at Fox 21 that she could no longer work with Mitchell. Initially, he was retained while she was released at her request to pursue other projects. Other actresses on the series also were said to have had problems with Mitchell. It's unclear what finally led to the studio to act.
Oh, I could guess.
What do you think? Why do you think they decided to drop him? Because I think The Chi just started back up. At least season, I don't know if this is season 2 or 3, but I think they just started back up recently. My little sister watches that show. I tried to watch the first season. It's pretty good, but yeah.
No, I don't even know what it's about. I could guess why they dropped him now, because I think she was released because they were like, well, peace then. Like, they didn't really give a shit.
Right.
And then I'm guessing because other reports started coming in from other people, they were like, well, we're all going to leave. You know, what's going to be easier? Like, you can replace all of us or just replace him?
Well, the thing, because it says that she was released at her request.
Yeah, which is like to save face, like, hey, you should quit instead of like us firing you.
I mean, I don't think they were going to, because she was from what I remember from watching that show, she was a pretty big character on it. It wasn't like she was like.
Yeah, but if Game of Thrones has taught us anything, big characters, you could die.
That happened this week. Yeah, a lot of y'all hate Game of Thrones.
Nerds.
So you feel like.
I think
that Showtime and Fox 21, they pretty much forced her out, and then when other allegations came aboard.
Come on, to get to the point where like, hey, I'm gonna bring my fiance to set so that just to make sure nothing happens means shit happens, people see it, and no one else cares.
See, this is where I was like, this is gonna be interesting. I'm gonna try to attack this from two different sides of the spectrum.
Take it from one. Only one.
Nah, we're going two. The fuck, nigga? I can multitask. Hell. But okay, so for you 90s kids, or for anyone who was like, I guess, coherent during the 90s, Martin, right? I love Martin. Martin is one of my favorite TV shows of all time, ever, right? But everyone who watches Martin always hates the ending of Martin, which is the 5th season, because the 5th season is terrible. It's terrible because during that time period, Martin and his wife on the show, Tisha Campbell, who played Gina, they were going through their issues because Gina had accused him of something similar, right, when this was going on. So it got really messy. It got so bad to the point where I believe Martin was produced by HBO, if I remember.
Yeah. Really.
It got so bad that the whole 5th season, the reason why it's so bad and there's like no chemistry at all, is because they had to shoot their scenes. So basically, every time Gina was on the screen, Martin wouldn't be there.
Yeah, they showed their scenes separately.
And then but they edited for them to be there together, which was really bad, right? So, a big thing that came out after that was a lot of people on set, and I don't know if Martin ever because Martin, there wasn't like an actual like today's allegation where it was like, oh, you're in trouble.
Yeah.
And I don't think Martin ever had anything to say about the allegations or anything like that. But I remember that Tisha Campbell had just got married to Duane Martin, and Dwayne Martin's also an actor. So I remember, I think around that time, Dwayne Martin was also like on like the set of Martin. Same thing, kind of like this dude, Marquet Richardson. The thing that made it tricky was people were like, that was Martin and Gina's relationship prior to her getting married. Like, they were like, I don't want to say flirtatious or anything like that, but they had a relationship like where they joked around and did like extra shit, like because they were both comfortable with each other. So, Martin, from what I remember, was done in front of a live studio audience. So a lot of the scenes, because I mean, like a lot of the references between the two was always something sexual, right? Especially with Martin and everything like that. So they had a lot of scenes like that, and there's a lot of if you guys go back to the show, there's a lot of like extra scenes like after the show when like them two are like laughing and joking and doing all this extra shit and everything. So clearly they were comfortable with each other, right? Which kind of leads me to this thing, because I just don't see how in today's world, especially today's world where everything's so hypersensitive and it's like you got to be a dumb nigga to try some shit today. Especially, I'm not trying to shoot him bail. I'm just trying to just paint a picture. Especially if you're someone like him who is like rising, right? Because he's been on the come up since straight out of Compton, right? So I just feel like for you to do that and for nobody to say anything is crazy.
It happens all the time, though. Like as much as like a whole bunch of allegations are coming out and like stories coming out, I'm sure the majority of it still happens and no one says anything.
Oh well, let me back up. I shouldn't even say nobody. From all the reports I've read about this, she went to Showtime with her complaints.
Right.
I guess that's my big issue with this, which makes me go like, for them, because they, from what I've read, they did a little investigation.
Okay.
And she ended up, like it says, that's what's been printed. I don't know. She has not commented on the situation, but she asked to be released herself. So she wanted it state to work on other projects. Who knows? That's what's in the fucking print, so that's what I'm going to go off of right now. You can be a skeptic, that's fine, but that's what's being printed, and she has not come out yet and said anything different. Okay? So if she came to Showtime and Fox 21 about these instances of, like, misconduct, right, and they were slow to do something or just weren't going to do anything, it leads me in that whole thing of, like, okay, what the fuck? Like, why? Why would they put them? Because he's not the lead of that show. You know what I mean? He's not like, it isn't some shit where it's like fucking Sopranos and it's the James Gandolfini, is that his name? The dude who was Tony Soprano, whatever. Or let's go to Game of Thrones because it's more recent. Who's the main character? Is there a main character?
There is no main character in Game of Thrones. Martin. I'm still looking at him. He's not Martin. He's one of the friends.
Okay, so yeah. So if Jason Mitchell in The Chi, he would be, I guess, the equivalent of like Tommy and Martin. Like he's someone that, obviously since it's been on the air, he's an important character, but he's not the main character. So
right,
you
like
can
the show can survive without him.
yeah, you can replace him or whatever, or you can just get rid of the character completely if you want to. Fucking kill him, write him off, whatever, however, right? So for me to, I guess, go on board with the whole this happened, I think some blame needs to be, if this is coming out true, because I'm not saying that this instance wasn't true, because clearly some shit happened because other women on the show also came forward and said, like, he was inappropriate. So, fuck him, right? But the thing I'm trying to figure out is, why was there such a delay in today's era? And this is actually the studio. It wasn't like, back then when it was the whole, like, oh, we can't because we're scared of whatever. She went to the proper people and they still were like, like, they still were just, they didn't act. And we've seen so much now where it's like, if you get accused of anything, if you're a man, you're done.
Right.
I'm like, why the fuck did they didn't act?
It could have been a simple thing, because I've heard it before where if it didn't happen on, like, company property, like during work hours or like an event, like, it doesn't matter. It's like, keep your personal life out of this.
Right.
So I've seen that where, like, HR just doesn't give a shit. Also, if it is, like, let's just bell to the production company, that delay might have been, like, them just investigating, like you said. Mm-hmm. Like, doing a whole bunch of investigation, like, really making sure, because you don't want to have, like, one of those, like, Me Too movements, and then all of a sudden it comes out, like, oh, that person was just salty about a bad date, or something like that, Right. So they do the due diligence.
There you go.
To it. Can't say fast. And then after, like, other people, they started asking more people, give them, like, the safe space, like, hey, you could say it, like, if you did something, say it, because, we're doing an investigation. Someone already came forward.
Right.
And that's when those other women came forward, and they were like, yeah, this guy's a problem. It seems like it's not going to stop. Multiple women. Bye. And I'm sure, like, in today's contracts, like, nowadays, it's like, if you have any of those kind of cases against you, they could drop you like that. Because it's like any kind of job where, like, if you get fired, there has, like, certain things have to be met in order for, like, them to be fired, for you to be fired without, like, a countersuit or whatever.
I don't even think it was, like, them dropping him so fast is, like, the glaring part. The glaring part is that his agency, so the people who get him work, dropped him and was like, no, we're not fucking with this, whatever, right? So
company probably didn't need him if they dropped him, like, that quick.
Oh no,
they probably have a whole bunch of other stars.
Yeah, those agents, they don't give a fuck. They turn over money, but it's just, it's crazy how it goes to that level. Something that also that's been happening a lot too is like, Steve Harvey keeps getting, like, he's been getting dropped from, like, a lot of stuff.
He says some dumb. I'm surprised he survived that Asian comment.
What did he say about Asians?
He was just like, he like alluded to, it was either alluded to or just straight up said, like, Asians are ugly. And he said this on air, and, like, he was just like, because I guess some girl, like, that he was talking to likes.
I'm waiting for the problem. No.
You can't say that shit. God. It's like a whole race of people are just ugly. I'm like, and he survived that. Like, there was a lot of backlash, a lot of shit, and then nothing happened. Like, everyone forgot about it. That shit he said to what was her name? Monique?
Yeah, Monique.
Like, the whole, like, just, like, shut up and, like, just keep getting this work.
See, that's something. They kind of talked about it. Talked about this same shit on the Joe Budden podcast. Shout out to Joe Budden. But that's something to where I feel like, because I can't see what he did. At least it's not come out yet, because he's getting dropped from everything, right? Which is, like, weird, because he is a pretty big figure.
Yeah.
On television today, and he's getting dropped, like, from fucking everything, which makes me believe. I'm like, it didn't start happening, honestly, until the Monique situation. Right. Until that episode came out and he said what he said. Like, a part of me feels like he said some shit he wasn't supposed to say.
Yeah.
And they were like, okay, get this nigga out of here. All right, your leash is gone, because now you're being a little too honest. To go back on your whole point about Asians, I think the one thing that comedians and shit have over a lot of people is they can always stand under the I'm a comedian umbrella, right, when it comes to shit.
It was like, like, doing that little whisper thing to your friend, like, hey, Asians are ugly, right? Like, we both agree on this.
Well, that's
you know,
that's him though. That's what I'm saying. Like, he can do that as a comic, and you won't get offended, or you're not supposed to get offended.
Nah, if you see it the way he said it, it was too dry for like the style that he's known for.
Okay, so flip it. Dave Chappelle with the Daniel Caesar thing and being like, your performance is really like, it's like, he's like, oh no, you're gay. Like, and he was very dry when he said that. Does that go under the same umbrella, or
nah,
is it
Dave Chappelle is a known, like,
Steve Harvey ain't
I guess
known.
I just don't like Steve Harvey then.
Yeah, you don't. Like,
I don't.
Like,
really don't. I don't see the appeal at all.
You're being very very biased about this shit.
Yeah,
or whatever.
So what? That's my argument today. So fucking what? I don't like Steve Harvey. Get him out. Nah, I guess because maybe because I don't like him, I'm seeing it as like it wasn't funny. I was just like because like with Dave Chappelle, I could tell, like, even if it's dry, his tone or whatever shit like that, it tells you that it's a joke.
How can you tell?
Son of a bitch.
Just saying. This is what people do. How can you tell? How do you know? Fucking Daniel Tosh made the whole rape joke, and it was in front of a bunch of people, but that lady was like, no, he just pretty much said that someone should rape me, and I feel threatened and scared. And I'm like, well, I mean, technically, she got a point. Technically, even though I'm like, he's a comic. You heckled him. He shot back at you. This happened. But still, like, how can you know? How do you know? Which sucks, because, like, we both love stand-up. But it's like, I don't know. So, yeah, I feel like, I don't know if it is. I feel like it is that Monique thing. I feel like he said some shit that pissed off the wrong white people.
Maybe. I just, it's one of those things where, it pissed off the white people, and I just think, like, he keeps, like, thinking, oh, I could just do whatever, and I could say whatever and just get away with it. He's, like, losing his chance. I think he was, like, bulletproof for so long, and now, like, all these, like, tiny slip-ups are now getting you fired from stuff.
Yeah, I don't know, but, I mean, he ain't broke, so who cares?
Yeah, for real. He's insanely rich, so.
Shout out to Steve. But.
So, because I used to like the Steve Harvey show, man.
See, so, and then shit, see, if we want to go into, like, fucking revisionist history, like, a lot of shit said on that show was like, whoa. If we look at it now
today,
yeah, but back then, even though I still don't feel like it was like a whoa, but like, here's a question: do you think like sitcoms like that can be a thing today, or can it be strictly just like it has to be like on Netflix or some shit like that?
Sitcoms like that, it would have to be like they would have to play it that way a lot for it to succeed, and have to be written really well. Because today's shows, they're more like it has to be set in the real world. The whole like live in front of a studio audience shit is just dead. Like, no one really wants to see that or pay attention to that anymore.
See what exactly?
Like that kind of style, like Fresh Prince of Bel-Air kind of style, where it's just like it's in front of a live studio audience. They're just scenes moving, like two-dimensional. It's like they want to be in these people's lives, like where they live, go throughout their day and their lives, not just like transition scene. Okay, we're at this next set. Transition scene. Okay, we're at this next set in this location.
Okay, I think you're thinking more about the style of the way it's like shot and produced. I'm talking about like with the actual humor. Do you think?
Oh no, because it's just a what do you call it? Like an age thing. Like if we were to look at a regular not a popular one, but just like a regular sitcom that was on during the 70s, that was still like people liked it or whatever. We probably like not laugh once because it was just a different time, different style of joking.
Fucking one of the biggest sitcoms in that era was All in the Family.
I'm not talking. No, that's why I was like exclude the most popular ones, like just like a regular show that you see today that like it's on today, but people like 30 years from now are not going to remember this show being on the air. It's just like a passing, like it fits because it's like in this era, but it wouldn't last anywhere else. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm trying to think of something back from that.
Yeah, see, like it's just like a regular show that was on that like you just had to be alive during that age. Like, oh man, I really like that show, but it only lasted like 2 or 3 seasons.
Well, then I feel like you're saying sucky shows.
Huh?
Like I feel like then at that point you're saying like shitty shows.
Well, still, I mean that was the shitty shows or like the common shows or what the humor was basically.
Wait, what?
I don't know.
wait. All right. Okay. So I was saying like shows like Martin, Steve Harvey, Jamie Foxx show. I'm saying like
Yeah, they wouldn't survive today. Think about like how the humor was. Like it's funny to us still, but like think of the kids. Like they'd be like, "What? Like I don't."
Okay, so you're saying because people wouldn't be smart enough to get the humor, or you're saying that because
No,
people wouldn't think it was funny?
yeah, I want to equate it same as music. Like why doesn't gangster rap still like pop like it did in the 90s?
It does.
Damn it, man.
I'm so lost by your comment.
But is it the most popular shit? Like, is it like
the difference is there just isn't a lot of gangster rappers today, but it's still like, yeah, some of the biggest rappers are still gangster rappers.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. Like how like the '90s sound was. Like, would it survive today? Like, no, because everyone's like how they like the. What do the kids listen to today? I don't know what you call it. Damn it, I don't know shit about shit today.
I don't know. The biggest rappers are all kind of. They're rappers, so like I know what you're trying to say. You're trying to say like, the style of music today is what is popular. But I guess my point was like, if you look like a Kendrick, he isn't today's style. He pretty much took all the shit he learned from back then and he's putting it so these kids can digest it. You know what I mean? But like. Him rapping the way he raps isn't something. It's like it's not mumble rap type shit.
Right, but he's changing it. Like, but you said he's changing it so that people could digest it, right?
Well, he's just putting it on like their beat. That's the only difference. Like, I see what you're saying because like you're saying like 90s sounding shit wouldn't fly today, which it really does depend because now there's so many people who are like fans of like counterculture and old shit that I don't really know. But I guess I'm just trying to say because of how PC shit is, do you think the shows that we liked back then will fly? Because the humor, it was totally different. Even in the 90s, when you brought up the 70s, I was like, there's a show, All in the Family, that is super racist. Like the point of the show is fucking Archie is really racist. He's racist, and everyone that his family knows he's racist. He's racist, he's homophobic, and everything. And the whole point of the show is that he gets into these situations where only his dumbass mind takes him because he's so like filled with hate. And then he gets into a fucked situation. And at the end of it, there's a lesson like, see, you shouldn't think about people that way type shit or whatever. Today, that show couldn't be on because literally it was just spewing hate for like 30 minutes, but it was like
with like a 2-minute like, oh, this is wrong.
Right, but it's weird because it was funny because it's funny. I fucking like the show. Like it's funny, but it's just like the messaging was so like to the point that it was just like, whoa, this is happening. And I feel like today's people wouldn't be able to take that because it's a little too like much, at least on network television. I feel like Netflix and shit, that's why you have those shows like that. Yeah, that'll be fine. But like, I can't see a fucking like imagine the Boondocks on like NBC. That would be just insane.
That would be
like because it's hilarious, but also, come on, you're gonna get complaints every day. Like, why is this kid saying nigga 8 million times? Why does this why is this Afro-haired kid not trust white people and all this shit? Yeah. Just like, there's so much shit that I just feel like. But that's why I feel like people like Steve Harvey and like that era can't. I don't think they're gonna survive in this era really because I feel like that style of like doing shit humor wise and just like the way they produce television isn't something that people want to like. I don't think people want to hear the truth.
What do you mean the truth?
I don't. Like, because Steve Harvey, the main reason why he got popular, and he is popular, is because people feel like he's telling the truth from his point of view, right? Mm-hmm. So, like, when he talks about, especially when he talks about women and shit and relationships, he always says it, like, in a way that's like, oh my God, my man, he has this great job and everything. And then he'll be like, well, what do your ass bring to the table? And they're like, ooh, Steve, that type of shit, right? Mm-hmm. There's a thing that is funny today, which people I don't think realize it, but being real is like it's a genre now. Like, I don't think people realize it, but being quote unquote real or being authentic is something that people want to be a part of, which is weird. But then I feel like it's not authentic because then you're just doing it because people expect you to do it.
Yeah.
A la, like, at points, I can be like, Cardi B is authentic, right? Then there's points where I feel like, okay, she's just saying that because she knows people want her to say that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. And I feel like
you can always tell the difference too a little bit.
Like, but see, some people can't. Some people will take it as just, no, this person is, which I find just weird, but this person's like, oh, it's just honest. Like, there was a point after Cardi B came out that, like, every fucking actress, whatever, they'll just start doing wild shit. And I was just like, okay, wait a minute. Yeah, all y'all wasn't doing this before, all right? Like, I don't understand how now it's a thing to where it's like, oh, I don't give a fuck, and I'm gonna have sex later tonight. And I was like, what?
People confuse like doing that for being authentic. It's like, no. That's how that person was being authentic. Like, be authentic to yourself. Like,
what would you do?
Yeah, like if you don't want to have sex, then say that.
Right.
Like,
or like there was that one point where I don't know if you remember, but Nicki Minaj like won this award or whatever. And then she came up and then she was like, oh, like she thanked like her stylist, like the person who did her dress. And then she was like, oh, and I look forward to Michael B. Jordan taking it off of me tonight. And she looked at him and I was just like, what the fuck just happened? Like, and Michael B. Jordan just kind of like smiled, like laughed, like, ha, ha, ha. And I would have been like, wait, is this consent? That's all I think. I was like, this consent?
Like, Michael B. Jordan was a real one. He would just ran up.
Yeah, he took that shit off. She said it. Like, what? If I was him, I would have fucking tested it. I'm like, fuck it. I want to see what's happening. I want to see it.
Test that butt surgery out.
I would have walked up there and then started to unzip it and see what the people would have done. And be like, And like, nah, this nigga's crazy. But
like All in the Family, like you're right. It wouldn't be made today, so no, it wouldn't survive at all. And it's just humor because I remember watching this shit like some kind of '80s show or a movie, and they were just like they just straight up said "faggot," like but like the actual way you say it,
right?
And I was like, whoa! And even though I knew it was like a humor and like a joke in the thing, it's still like my initial reaction was like, whoa, shit, that was crazy. So.
Think about that, what like the LGBT community has done. Like even saying the word,
faggot.
Saying the F word, they've almost eradicated it. Like that's crazy.
I like the South Park version of it better.
What's
they had that whole episode where like the kids were saying the F word, but like but they were referencing like Harley Davidson's motorcycle like groups that would just like rev up to like disturb the peace, and they're like, no, those. And then they'd be like, why are you calling like just because he's gay like doesn't mean he's a faggot? He's like, whoa, dude. They're like, whoa, dude. Like why are you saying that? Like, no, just because he like that doesn't make him a faggot. What the fuck? They were like offended. They were like, what the fuck? So and then like towards the end of the episode, they got the actual Webster dictionary to change the meaning of faggot to be like people that just ride Harley Davidsons and be like super loud with it and like rev their engines.
You know what's funny because I do remember that episode now. Yeah. The thing about South Park, they were thinking the same thing, which I feel like we thought about that word when we were saying it.
Yeah, that's how everyone
still say it. Fuck, I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, how everyone defends it. Like I hear Bill Burr saying all the time, like that one bit he has where like he like fell on some ice or something like that, and someone like some dude that he knew like genuinely like helped him out, was like concerned, and when they finally had that moment of like they realized what was going on, they're like, oh, get away from me, faggot, like and it was just like oh no, like we're so like we grew up with it, like oh we have to be so masculine and heterosexual, like we have to like say that to like save our masculinity, all that shit. It's like no, it's like we don't. Yeah, we don't use it that way. We don't use it for hate.
Yeah, like, I've never associated the word with a gay person until someone told me that it was about gay people. And I was like, but I wouldn't call them that because...
Unless they were being one.
Like,
it's that Louis C.K. bit, too. The whole, like... If I saw two gay people and one of them was like sucking dick, and then I was just, I don't know why I'd be seeing this, but whatever. He's like, if he took the dick out of his mouth, he was like, people from Venice are called Venetians. He was like, shut up, you faggot. Like, suck that dick. Like, shut up and suck that dick, you faggot. I was like, see, yeah, it's like that, but no one ever, like, I get it. I get why people get offended by it, because maybe growing up they were called that word and it was like really, really hateful.
Right, I get it too.
I get it, but it's just like, know that we're not if it's a known thing that we're not using it that way, then
it's ours now.
Yeah, it's
so just let us have
to describe those Harley Davidson people.
Like just all right, guys, we get it.
It was funny because in the episode too, remember, I forgot, was it Big Al?
Yeah,
Big Al had their back, and he was like, he had a meeting with all the other gay characters. He was like, no, we gotta let them do this, because then we could change the meaning of the word, and we're not gonna be targeted no more. I was like, yeah, it all made perfect sense in my 10-year-old mind.
That shit wasn't when you were 10. That episode was like us being like 16, 17 or shit.
Mentally 10 years old.
Now I'm 15. I'm a little older. But yeah, so
we just said the word. I said the word shit last time. Let's see if I get away with it.
Hey, y'all gonna get it. Hey, please don't get Mark out of here. He was trying to make a point. But yeah, going back to the whole Jason Mitchell thing and everything like that. Clearly, with that misconduct, I think. Do you think his career is over? Do you think he'll ever be able to? Because I mean, Jussie Smollett made it through some bullshit. And he's about to get back on, or I don't know if he is back
he's
on.
not. I think they're gonna finish the season with him, but he's gone. Like, they're working.
See, even that, like, even them bringing him back to me is wild. You know what I mean? Like, they still finished it with them and
still
everything.
Still under contract though. Still under, like, you got to round out how the story was gonna be. Like, because you can't just, like, if you kind of rewrite that shit at the end, it's gonna be like, what the fuck just happened in the show?
But why not? Because
they still need ratings. They still need people to be like,
see, he did some fuck shit. So, like, okay, flip it now, because these are just allegations. There's been no proof, right? Uh-huh. So if The Chi, which I mean, it is actually a pretty highly rated show, at least on Showtime, right? So, like, people watch the fucking show because it just got picked up for a third season. People watch the show. So a lot of people also that I read, which was really fucked up, a lot of people, because the girl that played his girlfriend, I think her name was Jerica on the show. She's no longer on the show. A lot of people went to her Instagram when the press release broke that he was being removed from the show. A lot of people went in her comments and was like, "Fuck you for getting him fired" type shit and everything like that. And I was like, the fuck, bro? Like, wait.
This is why people don't come forward, man.
Like, so she was just supposed to take that and be cool for a fucking 30-minute show.
Yeah.
Or however fucking long it is, an hour, I don't fucking know. Like, I don't remember.
And when she got other offers to do other shit?
Yeah, like, man, y'all niggas wild. Like, y'all
fans, fans like that I don't get it. Like, how can this person do no wrong in your eyes?
Because that's fan. It's what, short for fanatic? So I think the
swim fanning it.
Oh shit! See the thing. All right, no. Let's be a real nigga for a second.
All
right,
phones are down.
Real nigga for a second. The bitch from Swim Fan.
Yeah.
What was the issue with that? Every time I go back to that movie, I'm like, okay, he could have just kept them both. He didn't have, like, she was crazy, right? And the thing about crazy girls, all right, pussy be bomb, right? Like, this is we gonna be real niggas.
Confirmed.
Right?
Pussy be bomb.
Like, the shit is wild, right? So she was willing to just be with him and kind of do whatever. He could have. If I'm Swim Fan, nigga, because I forgot his name in the movie. So if I'm Swim Fan, nigga, right? So everyone, I'm Swim Fan, nigga. I know that I got my girl. All right, this chick who I hit in a pool and everything. You know, she all of a sudden she's just in love with the dick, right? And she don't want to leave me and all that shit. She's being weird.
Been there.
Hey. If I know that, right, but I also know that the key to keep her from being crazy is just to fuck with her.
Yeah.
I can maneuver this.
I think
I've been through worse.
Really? Do tell.
I've been through worse.
Tell, Dwayne.
I can maneuver this.
What happened?
Like,
Who's
y'all
your
don't know about my year. How this shit started. Like,
who's your swim fan girl?
They ain't no fucking girl. Long Beach Police Department. Like, continue. I'm sorry.
I think just to keep it in a movie realm, I think eventually, like, if he did do that route, she would eventually get too jealous and want more time, and then eventually just want to be the only one, to where that stuff still happens.
But see, if you remember, weren't they? This is high school, right?
Yeah,
they were in high school, right? Okay, look. My dude was a senior because I remember they was driving. All right,
she was a freshman.
Nah, was she a freshman?
I
That's
have no
fucking
idea.
Weird. Then I changed the whole thing. I'm not Swim Fan, nigga.
I have no idea.
Fucking a 14-year-old girl. What kind of shit is this?
You mean it's illegal? You're 17.
Nah, no, it's not. You weird ass nigga.
God God, that's senior that day that freshman. There's always like at least one in every school.
Yeah,
Why?
Nah.
Why did people let her get away with it?
Nah, we know you're gonna be
That's weird as shit.
Let's keep being real. All right, I know a bunch of niggas back when we were juniors and seniors who were coming back and picking up girls. You's a bitch, all right? I don't care. That shit is gross. That shit is gross.
They don't know any better. Still, they're like,
no, that shit is gross. All right, if I was young,
I'm not giving them. I'm talking about the girls. Like they don't know any better. Like they're young. Like they don't.
Nah, fuck that.
Really,
I don't
them
care.
too.
If I'm your daddy on both sides. I mean, if that's my son, beating that nigga ass. If that's my daughter, we're changing schools. Like, what is wrong with you? Like, how does that? No, I'm going to real rant right now. Fuck this podcast, all right? I'm going to real rant right now, all right? Let me get this straight. A nigga who used to go to this school is now roughly 22, 23, right? For some odd reason, he still hangs out with the younger people at the school. This isn't a problem. Right? No one sees it as a problem yet. Fine, cool, fuck it. All right, you can have younger friends. We have younger friends, right? Younger male friends, at least, right? We have that. That's cool. Bet. All right. So here's where it gets tricky. So when you're hanging out with those younger male friends and they bring around their, younger girl counterparts, at that point you should remove yourself from the situation. You should not still be with them in the situation. All right, because the shit is weird. Because honestly, you being with them in any way, shape, or form, anything that happens that's past friendship is a felony. So why would you put yourself in that situation? I don't get it. It's the craziest shit ever.
I don't do it. So I don't get it.
Someone explain it to me.
Reach to the screen in the comments.
And these comments explain to me why that was cool. I still don't get why that shit was cool.
If you were a woman or a girl at that age, of course you were younger. If you were one of the ones that dated like someone that was above 18, tell me the reasoning. Tell me like why you did it, why you thought it was okay at the time, and like your thoughts on it now.
Because I've questioned a lot of women on that, including my own girl, and it always makes sense to them. I'm like, I don't understand how it makes sense.
Because they're like, oh, he's so mature, like he knows what blah blah blah, all this shit. If he actually did, he would not be messing with someone that young. Is the thing. These guys are losers. Because women their age could see past the bullshit.
But here's the thing: if you flip, like this was always the dumb part. Mm-hmm. I didn't know one girl who was coming back after she left for a young nigga. I didn't know one. All right, there was a teacher. I ain't gonna split. I can't confirm that. I still have to like talk to the people who are around that situation, then I can fucking confirm it. But like, I don't know one girl who graduated and came back for some young nigga. I don't know any.
Let me get some of that prepubescent.
But what? I know a bunch of niggas who was coming back, right? And that shit is weird. I never got that. They like, oh, so-and-so about to pick up his girl. I'm like, who?
You know the high schooler?
Tamika, yeah, she that sophomore. Nigga, what?
Not even a senior?
I'm like,
all right, let's say in this the Pineapple Express scenario where you're like in your 20s.
Okay.
She's 18, but she's still in high school.
She's 18 but still in high school? I'm not doing it.
Not you, but other people.
Other people? Are they going to do it?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, what do you think when other people do that? Like, technically they're legal. Technically they're adults, but they still have to be in high school for those last, whatever, couple months.
See, here's the thing about that. I'm not going to, because technically they're legal.
Right.
My personal beliefs, like, ass ain't legal until you're out of school. Right? That means like fucking K through 12, not college. All right? So your ass ain't legal till you're out of school. I don't care about age and all that other shit. You're not legal till you get out of school. A lot of people will go off the 18 thing. So I'm not going to judge them if they want to do that. What I will judge you on is your taste in women. Because what the fuck? I just don't get it, man. Like
talking to any 18-year-old is like,
it's just so terrible.
They think they know everything.
And hopefully you guys are, checked out the Workout Wednesday video we just posted. If you didn't, please go back and check that out. Plug. It's gonna come in a lot more because we like doing it. Hopefully you guys like us doing it, but. So we were in the gym, right? And there's a lot of girls because we go to a gym that clearly is dominated by the local high school.
Because the high school's across the street.
Right. So they're always there, right?
Yeah.
So you have to be mindful of this shit, being in the gym. But of course, these girls don't again, going back to this weird fantasy about older men, I don't think they realize that how old we are because we don't look, like our late 20s. We look like we're probably like their high school friends or whatever, right? Still, it's very weird because you'll have girls like look at you in a certain manner and you're like, you don't know. Like you have no idea.
I err on the side of caution.
Yeah, but
unless you could they're old.
Like, but see, that's the thing. I don't think niggas do though. That's what makes me.
Oh yeah, no.
Like, that's what's just wild to me because I'm like, how do you?
Because they get that look and they're like, oh, it's on.
Yeah, I'm like, what the fuck? Yeah. Like, come on, man. Like, listen to what they're talking about.
Yeah, I was just gonna bring that up. Like, just if you could, because you could hear people in the gym and everything. These little high school conversations are fucking hilarious. The high school guys, very spazzy. Girls are totally in control for the most part, but it's funny as shit.
Very bad lifting form. It's
it's bad. That's what Dwayne cares about.
That's all I really care about. It's just like you can't be that confident with bad lifting form. It bugs me. It bugs me.
And then they're trying to teach people too. They're
teaching them wrong shit, and I'm like, oh, this is bad. This is all the way bad. But
yeah, those conversations are hilarious.
Yeah, I just going back to the whole high school thing. I really want to. Someone got to break it down for me. I don't get the shit. I never got the shit. I was so against that there was when I was a senior, right? There was a sophomore chick who she was pretty, right? I was so at my high school you could be a TA, or then they tried to make this little new job which was like basically like bathroom / hall monitor type shits, right? And honestly, people were so dumb at my high school that they were like, I'm not gonna do that, whatever. And I was like, you're stupid. It's a whole hour away from a class, and they count it as a class, and you're just sitting in a hallway. Like, and then if you were cool, like, or at least you knew people, they just come out and be like, "Oh, what's up?" and then talk to you for an hour.
Yeah,
and that was it. That was the job, right? Like, so for me, it was literally sit in the hallway, sit next to the restroom, and you would literally just anytime someone came in, you would hand them the clipboard. They'd write down their time and shit, and then write down their coming in time, write down their coming out time, which made no sense, like, because there was they're in the bathroom, so they can be
also super gross the coming out time because they didn't wash their hands, they pee on their hands,
like they could be taking a shit, whatever, right? Who cares? All right, that point that you just made, I never touched that pen.
There it is.
For real, I hand them the whole clipboard. You do it. Fuck it. You nasty bastard. But so there was a girl that was in the class that like who the teacher who was in charge of giving me like all the supplies and shit, she was in that class, right? So I would go in there and I knew one kid who I feel like he was our age. Maybe he was our age. I think he was our age
at the time. Oh, like our age right now?
Yeah, our age right now, but I think he was like held back because he was in sophomore classes, which I was just like, whatever.
Whoa,
stupid motherfucker. No, but so I knew him. And, like, we would talk and shit and chop it up or whatever. And then one day he told me, because I saw this girl out, she was like, weird fucking high school shit where it's like, oh, she's into me. Or, like, she would get all weird around me or whatever. One day he was just like, yo, you know so-and-so? I'm like, nigga, no, I'm a senior. No, I don't know so-and-so. Like, in this high school, in this sophomore-ass class. Like, no. And then he was like, man, she likes you and everything like that. So now you have that whole point, right, of being like, okay, this girl likes me. She's attractive. But I am a senior. I am leaving. Now let's think about this. How does this make any sort of sense? How? Because I am leaving, one. Two, how are we going to walk around?
Well, most people wouldn't think that. Most people would just be like, I'm a fuck this,
That's stupid.
and that's it, and then like, that's all that's gonna happen.
And that was another thing, right? I'm like, I'm not going to A, do that. B, I don't want to go like meet her family or friends, and I'm like the old nigga. Like that's how I felt. No, this is high school.
you definitely thought way further ahead than most of these people would ever.
I was just like, you know, because I'm thinking about all aspects of this shit. Because also I have friends like these motherfuckers. So if I bring a sophomore chick, they're gonna be like, "What the fuck is going on?"
It was always a consideration.
This preschool, bro?
How will my friends? Yeah, how are my friends making fun of this?
You babysitting, nigga? That's what you doing? So I just wasn't gonna do that. But
okay, what about just flirting?
Flirting, no.
Not even just flirting.
No.
Like knowing in your head it's not gonna go past this. Not even that.
No. Then there was another girl in that same class who would do that shit to me, and it was always just weird because I was just like, I am significantly older than you. Like, and again, at that time, it doesn't feel like that, but fucking you being 17 and a girl being 14, turning 15 is a lot. Like, it's just, because it's like a year ago, you were in middle school. You know what I mean? Like,
you know, it's funny. Like, I actually had a instant like that.
I actually
like
fucked a middle schooler. Mark, secret reveal. It was so
anything for the subscribers. No, there was this camp called Building Bridges that wouldn't like you would get like different high schools and they would go for like the week or the weekend. Doesn't matter.
Right.
Doesn't matter. There was this girl that like I started talking to. Didn't know her age at the time, but when I did, found out I think she was 13.
She was fine.
To me, yeah.
He didn't deny it.
I was 16 or 17.
Okay.
And I remember like
weirdo ass.
I would ask everyone. I'd be like, "Do you think that's weird?" I was like, "Do you think that's too, like that age range is too wide?" I think I talked to you about it. I talked to all my older brothers about it. Just random people on the street. Hey,
excuse me, sir.
Random survey. Is this too like? Cause you know like, and then it was always like that. It was like how we're talking about it right now. Like you're like like technically it's fine because you're both under 18. But then I always had like those questions of like I don't know, but like even like from 13 to 14, you grow a lot. You mentally grow a lot. From 14 to 16, you're like a totally different person. And I never did anything, but I was just like I just couldn't get past those thoughts of like it's too much.
And it's funny because a lot of people that at least back during that time too, they were, and a lot of people I still know actually are still into like really really young women. Well, and I don't get that.
I've always liked older women, honestly. Like every woman I've been with has been older than me.
No, hey, this is a hot take. Why do men like younger women?
Biologically, it's like youthful, more fertile. That if you want to take it back to like caveman era.
Any argument you start with youthful and more fertile, you've already lost.
That's biologically why.
Remember the niggas on fucking Chris Hansen? They get caught. And he's like, "Why'd you do that?" And he was like, and "They'll be like, she was just."
I'm gonna go. Actually,
no, they'll be like, she's fresh, she's clean, and I was like, "You're going to jail." So why would you say that?
Like more explicitly, yeah, like those reasons, but just from like a biological standpoint, I think that's why. But
see, okay,
I never wanted kids, so maybe that's why I don't like the.
I don't condone it across the board, but I understand it more when like, okay, so a nigga who's like 35, 36 wanting someone who's 24, 25, still weird to me. Because honestly, if you go back 10 years and you were 25, they were fucking 13, 14, which is weird.
I was going to bring that up too.
Yeah, but okay, fine. You want to do that? That's fine. That I understand because it's that usefulness. And a lot of people are still very, in their 30s. They say like 30 is new 20, right? So in their 30s, they're still not old. At least they don't feel old. They don't do old things yet, which is whatever. However, I still feel like that shit is just weird.
I think after a certain point in your 20s, there's like a wider range of people that like, oh man, that person's really mature. Like they're way past the normal mature level for like a 25-year-old or whatever. So I think that's why like when you see them with like older people like 30, 35-year-olds, it's like oh, like their level of maturity is equal. That's why it works.
See, this podcast is going to a completely
we
better
started.
direction.
Yeah, we.
So we're gonna keep going.
we
Right
didn't
here.
we didn't have a topic
We
at
didn't have a
all.
topic. We're in a completely better direction. All right.
That shit was boring. Whatever his name was.
Fuck Jason Mitchell.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Good, he got fired.
Nigga,
Fuck
I like
him.
Easy E. Like you,
Yeah.
nigga. Fuck. Nah, but okay. So let's break this
Quit
down.
touching your co-stars.
And touch me.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Okay. So maturity. Break that down. What does that mean to people? Because I've always like, I've heard it so much. People are like, oh, they're so mature and like they're a lot mature and everything like that. I'm like, what does that really mean? Because if we go off the basis of, like I said before, when you're dating people, everyone's kind of playing an act until they get into like they're like, all right, I'm comfortable level. What does that mean, maturity? Because if you know that the girl you're messing or the girl that you're interested in is like 34, right? Mm-hmm. Say this is 18-year-old Mark, which I think 18-year-old Mark did fuck with someone who I don't remember. So if you're 18, the chick you like is 34. Consciously, or maybe even subconsciously, you wouldn't try to kind of, make yourself be older, quote unquote, more mature than you are?
Yeah, but it's never what do you call it? Authentic, because you're trying to play this like character.
How do you know?
Damn it!
This next episode. How do you know? Just how do
high pitch.
Yeah, you gotta say just like that. I had a stroke. Simpsons reference.
Simpsons, that's right. Fuck, that was so old. We used to say that so much. I want to say most people that are actually that mature can tell like, oh, you're like using bigger words than like, oh, you don't know how to use that yet because you just heard it and you think it sounds mature. I'm sure there's like a group of people that get away with it for sure, like me.
A group?
I am the group.
Half the world gets away with that shit, but whatever.
But also, like, the whole... It's not like maturity is the only thing they factor in. They also be like, damn, this person just looks good as shit. Exactly. So it's like... And the sex, and I'm sure that factors into it. Like, how good it would be, or whatever.
Sounds so wild.
It does. But...
Ooh, that pussy crazy.
Just to determine... Like, do you have a personal definition for maturity, or do you still just, like, you don't know what it is?
I don't know what it is because a lot of people say that, like, my girl says and everything like that, I'm very mature, but I fuck with y'all. So, how mature am I? Really?
Yeah, like, well, that's the thing, because I don't think, like, joking around with, like, with your friends and, like, whatever, like, kiddie jokes you say, I don't think that's a true reflection of maturity.
But see, that's my point, though, because people will base it off that.
Right.
And they'll base it off, like, the way you act and everything, right? So I'm like, if you only see me when I'm with these dudes or whatever, or with Jay or whoever the fuck, and we're out making a shitload of inappropriate jokes because it's funny, then yeah, you might be like, that motherfucker's immature as fuck, right? But if you see me at work or when I have to be serious or whatever, I'm serious as shit. Yeah. Like, so, that's why I'm always like, what is really mature? Like, someone needs to break it down.
That's when you get to know somebody. You're like, oh, you accept that they joke around like that. You get to know them a little bit from whatever reason. You find out like, oh, he's actually at work. He takes his job very serious. He pays his bills on time. He's very responsible with like his whatever.
Right.
And then you start like, oh, your maturity definition goes like, it skews more to like, oh, wait, like I should maybe step back and whatever and really see this. So I think it's that. I think it's just like after you get to know somebody, you start to see like how mature they are. Because if, let's say you did those kiddie jokes, but that's how you were everywhere else, they would find that out too and be like, oh, this person's really not mature at all.
Okay, so then you would say that being quote unquote an adult is being mature.
Yeah, well, like just taking care of your own shit, basically.
Because see, that's where I feel like it gets confused because a lot of people do adult shit, but then they aren't mature. Because we know a lot of people who have kids, right? Who are either our age or they had kids when they were in high school and shit and everything like that. That's a very mature adult thing, really, because you have to, raising someone, you have to be an adult, right? But they do it, so then they're looked at as like, oh, they're mature. But then when you break it down, you actually know the person, at least the people that we know, or most of the people that we know, that who are in that situation, they're very immature. So then it makes us go like, okay, what the fuck, like, and then but it's always funny because people look on from the outside and be like, oh no, they have a kid, they're definitely mature. And it's like, no, that doesn't mean shit.
Well, that's the people that like difference between us and like those people where those people make quick judgments and like whatever they see that's it, surface level, and that's it. Me and you are fucking almost throughout our lives are like, all right, I see that, but let's study a little bit more. Let's just read the situation just a little bit more to make sure we're right. See. So I don't think a lot of people do that. Like for the people that at least maybe you talk to, I guess they just make quick judgments. Well, most people fucking do that. I feel like everyone. Yeah, everyone does, and most people just do quick judgments, and then like, because then they're surprised when we're right about shit. Like I remember when calling like in this film class I had. I remember like I was just like, I don't like this person. Like I don't know what it is, but he rubs me the wrong way. You know, still played nice in the beginning because like
he was still in his bitches. I know what.
Impossible.
I know that's a line of reason.
But I remember we like it was like during our final projects, and this dude just burned everyone. And I was like, I fucking told you. I was just like, he's using you. I was like, even when you were like, I was just like, dude, he's not like he doesn't give a shit. He's just using you. And they got burned, and then they still give him chances, which I don't get after that. That's when I stopped fucking with everybody. But but I think it's like we have because you have stories like that where you're just like, I don't like this person, and then you turn out to be right most of the fucking time. Like I love to be proven wrong is the thing. Yeah. With that kind of shit, like it'd be cool, like with Idris, we had him in the podcast. Chapler, what's up? Like your story, like you guys were like, who the fuck is this guy? Whatever. It's always like, hey, like what the fuck? Err on side of caution. And then you get to know them, and you're like, "Oh no, this person like you were proven wrong, basically about track player."
Yeah, like those moments are always cool and shit, but I'm never really wrong. That's the thing, like
I was trying to hold off on that forever.
I'm just gonna be honest, I'm never wrong. No, I'm playing. It's just I feel like everything is such a crapshoot because everything that we do today, and I don't know if you guys agree, but this will be another hot take. I'm gonna throw it out there. I feel like everything that is quote unquote a reality is not a reality until we make it a reality. For example, I feel like when you're dating, it's not a reality. Honestly, I feel like everything's like the Matrix. All right, so when you're dating someone, you're in the Matrix. All right, and everything is like possible, but you know it's not possible. Right? Here's how I'm gonna make this fucking shit make sense. Right? So if you're going out with the girl and you want to impress her, right? You know that you want to take her to this certain spot and everything like that. And it's all fancy and shit. You're going to dress your nicest and stuff. How is that not like the Matrix? Because when they get in the Matrix, they have access to damn near everything, right? And they can pull off anything if they just believe and all this other shit and everything. The Matrix. But once you get away from that person, all right, you get back into reality. And you're not this, you're not that, you don't got that money like this. Now you got to actually, like, you struggle to get back to that point, to get back into the Matrix with that person. I can say the same thing about jobs and interviews and shit. When you go on an interview and shit, you're your best, all right? You're the best version of yourself you could be ever, okay? And then once you get that job, look at people. They turn into themselves. The real selves, which is like most people are stupid. Most people don't know what the fuck they're doing. Most people shouldn't have this job. Most people lied. You find that out very soon. Most people lied. And it's just, again, now we hit reality, right? You can take that anything you do, man. Fucking when you want to be a criminal, you want to do crimes and shit. You got a gang, you got some niggas that you roll with or whatever. Yeah, when you guys are just talking about this shit or doing it together, it's the Matrix. Everything works. No one gets caught. Everyone has your back. As soon as a nigga gets caught or jammed up, we in reality now. Niggas start pointing fingers and shit. All of a sudden, the dude who was super tough is a bitch ass nigga, and he's the first one singing on people. That's what happens, man. Like. I feel like that's how I look at the world. None of this shit is real until it gets real. And then everything else is like a facade until you realize that, like, if I say something like dating or someone, trying to like be with someone forever, now you get to a point where you've been in the Matrix so long that you're like, all right, I'm going to start being myself and I'm just going to kind of throw out, can this person handle this? Once they handle it, you're like, all right, I can start bringing them back into reality a little bit. And then once you're fully back into reality with that person, you're like, all right, I'm going to stick with you because you aren't afraid of this shit.
Yeah.
Like, that's why I'm like, I don't get terms like maturity, and I don't get shit like.
Well, it's the thing too. I think maybe you're thinking it from your level of maturity too. It's just the maturity just got to line up. They got to complement each other.
Right.
If they complement each other, then that relationship makes sense.
Right, and that always goes back to my question of like, so if two immature people think they're mature, then what the fuck is maturity?
Damn, think about that podcast world.
But at the end of the day, how do you know? So many strokes. But damn, we just got super deep into like conspiracy theory world
What
and
it really
shit.
is, yeah.
People are like, "What the fuck just happened?" If you're listening to this shit high, you're welcome. All right, what we just did, that was mental. That was a mental orgasming.
If you thought past episodes were deep and like complex, you have no idea how it is when we're just talking without the camera, without the mics. How fucking
fuck these topics, man. Let's get really in depth in some shit. All right,
these are our minds.
I don't believe in the government. Man. It's like little shit like that is like a trigger for me because I always felt like everyone is just full of shit. Everyone's full of shit. I don't think real people exist.
I think it's just the way that we've been programmed as a society to believe courting should happen, which is you do that, you peacock or whatever, you put your best self out there, you wave your feathers around,
right,
and you attract them that way, and then slowly you start showing them like who you really are, and if they accept it, that's why like you stay with them because it's like, oh, this person accepts me for me, I accept her for her,
right.
Put whatever genders there you want, and then hopefully that's what like the end result is like, oh, I could stand this person, but I just don't think that happens enough. Like I think that's like a very small portion of people. Mm-hmm. I think most people are just like, oh, I ended up with them, I found out some shitty shit, but whatever, like I don't want to start over or start dating again, so I'm gonna just stay in this relationship.
I think I could take it out of dating, honestly, and I really just want to make it about people. Like when I say like I don't feel like real people exist, I feel like what happens is you end up, I think the world turns you into whatever you're most comfortable being and acting and feeling, right? So like people who are like very negative, the world turns them into just a negative person. And then like that's just you 24/7. And then you feel like, no, I can't be, like the only happiness I get is from being negative. On the flip side, people who are very happy, and things like that, they don't see the world as a negative person would see it. So to them, the world made them really happy. So they'll just make themselves or do things that it's like, no, everything's happy. I'm fine. I'm happy. I'm great. Because I've always found that really interesting that people who are just naturally like good people person or things like that, right? People who generally like people, I'm always like, how do you get to that point where? Because like for me, I can say that I don't like people because I really don't, right? But people like me, okay? So that's always kind of weird because I'm like, I'm not really big on people, but because I like this person's a people person, they feel like, oh, this person's like me, right? So I'm like, ooh, this is bad because I get into these situations where it's like, oh, come out with me here, and I'm like, ooh,
nah,
I don't want to do that. I'm funny from like 8 to 5, but like, well, I don't want to be around you all day, bro. Like, and shit like that. Or it's like, hey, we're gonna go to this. I don't drink for people who don't know. I don't drink.
Nerd.
Whatever. So I don't drink. So for people who are like, I'm not a bar person at all. I hate bars to no end. But I've had to be in situations because my girl is someone who likes bars and things like that. I've had to frequent bars, right? So I had like my own routine when it comes to bars and shit like that. So now I can at least tolerate bars. But I feel like because when a person meets you and if you're like cool in a bar, automatically think, oh, you're a bar person, things like that. That's what I feel like just the world is in general. I think everyone just gets put into these like roles that they feel like is themselves.
Well, that's all. Well, that's all for the most part. People care to know about you too. They're like, oh, I know he's a bar guy. That I met him in a bar. He's a bar guy. Cool. That's it. I'm not gonna try to learn more. Even if he shows me more shit, it's gonna be like, yo, I was gonna be the bar guy. You know what I mean? You don't care.
Ooh. even better, right? Prime example of all this shit, Mark, okay?
Damn it.
I've known Mark forever, right? Mm-hmm. I know Mark as Mark, which is an awful person. All right? not like awful, like fucking diabolical and shit like that, but it's just like we're terrible people because of the shit that we like and joke about and shit like that. It's bad. But it's not bad like, oh my god, you guys are like ill. It's like, no, it's just like no person would, if you hear our conversation, you'll be like, these guys are assholes or these guys are dicks, right? But you guys seem to like it, so cool. One thing that was always funny was every time I met one of Mark's girlfriends or one of Mark's friends and things like that, or a group of his friends, they always thought Mark was like amazing. And I was like, who has been telling you these lies? Like, what the fuck are you guys talking about? Like, and like it was like, oh, Mark's so nice, and Mark's like so this and that. I'm like, Mark's so nice? What? What the fuck? Like, who lied to you? Like, and like me and Jay we'd rack our brains and we'd be like, what? Maybe it's something we don't see. And then but when Mark was around us, he would be Mark. He'd be like, I feel like he'd be regular Mark, and we'd be like, no, we know Mark. All right, we know. All right, you guys don't know. But this is what I'm talking about. Around other people, because they see him in a certain light, because they're either always happy or to be around Mark, and he says some kind of joke and shit.
So you saying that you're not happy to be around me?
No! I hate your ass. No, but it's like you get to a point when you become friends that it's like it's literally like this is literally like is my brother. So it's like I look at him like, nigga, it's just Mark. Like, I don't get it.
Those, okay, just to bring it to people, like, have you seen those memes of, like, friends versus best friends? It's like, friends, it's like, oh, have a nice trip, like, good luck, and blah, blah, blah. The best friend isn't like, fuck you, bye, like, bitch.
Bitch ass nigga.
Yeah. So I couldn't say that, but that's what I meant to say.
That's what he wanted to say in the inside. I'm really just Mark's black translator. I realized this over the years. But, yeah, so I've always found that, like, crazy, right? Because people would see him in that light, and I'm like, what the fuck? Wait, what did I miss? And then I started, like, to question myself. I'm like, wait, maybe, like, because we're all dicks, I'm like, no, Mark's a dick, and that's just it. He can't change or evolve. But that's the thing I'm talking about, where it depends on the people who you're around. Because I've seen Mark be a really positive person. I've seen Mark be a really negative person. I've seen Mark in love. I've seen Mark out of love. I've seen fucking Mark be super gung-ho about something. I see Mark be like, man, fuck this shit. I don't care. Like, so I know every bit of, like, this person.
I'm a very talented actor.
Right. Like, so I know every bit of, like, Mark. I've seen every fucking part of it. So to me, nothing he does is like, ooh. To me, I'm just like, oh, okay, yeah. No, he's going to do that.
That makes sense.
Right. So for other people, I just feel like depending on whoever you're around at the time or whatever, you're going to be that version of yourself. I don't feel like there's like ooh, this person's so real and everything like that. Yeah, I'm super honest around this guy because he knows what I'm thinking anyway.
Yeah.
Right? But I can't be super honest around, like, people at work. I can't just be like, man, nigga, fuck this job. Like, I'm like fuck
like,
y'all
it's
niggas.
It's always very tiny. You let it out tiny bits. Like, recently, like, I've been calling my boss fat just because, like, I recently went to, like, from, like, the overweight category to just, like, sort of normal.
Yeah, Mark's finally hit the average body.
Thanks to those workout Wednesdays.
Hey.
But he's still, like, he's only, like, maybe, like, 10 or 15 pounds more than me, but almost, like, you fat ass.
Fat motherfucker.
Yeah, basically. And he was like, well, today he was like, I couldn't hear you. I was just like, hey, maybe
chubby ass bitch.
Maybe you all that fat in you. It's just... But this has been like 3 years in the making, like, right, with his boss, and that's why, like, I could do, like, that's a very tiny slice of what me and him do, like, what me and Dwayne do together. So that tiny slice, it passes, but only because I put in, like, that subtle work over 3 years. Right. I have a friend who I'm not gonna name, but I've already named him on these episodes. So you gotta figure it out. So I'm gonna, that's a trick or a task for you guys to figure out who I'm talking about. But I have a friend who, like, at one point he was, like, we worked together and everything like that, and then we became cool outside of work and everything like that. And now we're, like, he's, like, damn near one of my best friends, right? So it's funny because, like, seeing him in that light at work, and then, like, just it flips to being, like, one day just being like,
I one day I ripped my wife's asshole because we was like fucking too much, and like she shitted on my chest, and I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, what?
Wait, that's
what?
That's how shitting works. You can't rip an asshole and just shit comes out.
Hey, just telling you the story I was told. All right, I don't fucking know. I don't care. I wasn't gonna question it. This person is very serious, and he wouldn't lie about some shit like that.
That's all I care about, the science behind it.
Because he just doesn't lie about that shit. Like, but I was just like, oh my God, you're like a sexual deviant. Like, how did you get this far in life? Like, but I'm like, wait, only I know this side of him. Yeah. Like, or no one else really knows this shit. Like, or of course now his wife and other people. But I'm like,
I hope his wife knows.
I hope she does. Or your asshole's about to be ruined. Dude.
Oh, he was just telling you his plan. Like, I planned to rip his ass. I planned to get shitted on.
You don't understand. When we had sex, I pulled back the panties, saw the butthole, knew it had to be mine. Imagine choosing your partner on the butthole color.
Oh no! Like, maybe if she bleached it.
If she bleached it,
you know, I didn't know that was a thing in porn.
Oh, bleaching your asshole?
Bleach your asshole, yeah. So I saw like on a TV show. I was just like, oh, that's why their assholes all like.
Yeah, I once saw a porn where like the chick, there was like some hair around her asshole, and I was just like, I honestly, I was kind of more turned on. I was like, that's normal.
That's natural. Yeah.
That's natural. I like that.
I can't do like full balls.
Yeah, don't go full bush on me, because that's like that's a dude. And we can't do that one. But like a little, was like okay, cool, you know. But
yeah, I can't do full balls. It looks weird.
Yeah, I don't know. Get it shaved or unshaved?
Like if I had to have a choice,
yeah,
unshaved.
Ooh, Mark is a natural.
Natural.
He wants to dive in that hairy jungle of yours.
Gotta floss somehow. I don't. That's I take it back. I take that joke back. I'm gonna backpedal this. How can I? See, I'm not gonna edit this part out because I don't control the audio. So
the way to highlight someone's mistake and bad joke is to be quiet.
Watch them panic
and let it sit there.
I'm stewing in it. I feel so wrong.
I remember one day me and Jay talked about that. We were like, kids these days, they get so they don't know how to deal with like awkwardness and embarrassment. So like when they get embarrassed, they're like prime example. If you guys have like little cousins, little siblings and shit like that. If they like a show or something, or if they like an actor or whatever, right? And you just be like, you like them, huh? You like them. Watch how they react. It's hilarious because they'll go from like no to like straight anger. To be like, I don't fucking like them.
Jeez, change the channel, jeez.
All right, man, wasn't that serious? All right, you don't like them. It's cool.
But I know you like them.
That's the whole thing, but you like them, though.
Just walk out the room.
If for all the guys out there watching this, if you have like a little brother or something, or a little cousin, whatever, play a video game with him that he thinks he's good at, and then beat the shit out of him in it. Watch the seriousness he's gonna take in trying to beat you, and then watch the breakdown of him losing. And you know, because he can't fuck with you. Like, you know, and like, just watch it, all right? And you'll see, like, wow, like, these kids, they just aren't developed yet. Like, because they just, it's stuff like that to me is always great. Just watching kids suffer.
Can't wait till you have kids.
Yeah, I'm just gonna, oh, man. To my future son or daughter, or both, hopefully both. I want to let you guys know that daddy loves you. Mommy loves you. But when you step in the ring, kick your ass. All the time. All right, until I'm old and gray. All right, so my son, if you want to play me in Madden, beat your ass. I will not take it easy on you whatsoever. To my future daughter, if you want to like wrestle
play
with
Madden,
me,
I'm not gonna take it.
No, you want to like wrestle and be like, oh, Daddy, pick me up and stuff. I'm going to suplex the fuck out of you. All right, you need to learn. All right,
better learn how to land.
You don't play with Daddy. All right, you don't play with Daddy. You need to learn that if you're gonna be a wrestler, okay, you need to learn these moves. All right, learn the actual reversals to this shit. I'm just beating the shit out of my kids.
Hey, he wasn't lying.
But then they get better than me, so like my daughter's just fucking putting me in Boston crabs and shit. And then my son is like, he's like up 50 and mad. He's like, yeah, Daddy, take that shit, nigga. All them ass whoopings, huh? I mean, I'm sitting there crying like,
I taught him well.
I didn't have my team. But yeah, that's all I got. We had another topic, but fuck it. I'm not even going into that. Shout out to Lil Nas for getting that Wrangler deal. Make these white folks as mad as possible, boy. We're all behind you, all right? The more you make them angry, we're going to be by your side. Even though your song is whack, I'll say that publicly. Shit is trash. But
I hope you make it.
But I'll fucking support it. But Mark, hit him with the plugs.
You can find us on youtube.com/howdoiknowyou. Our Instagram, HDIKY1. Our Twitter at howdoiknowyou1. And my personal one, Mr. Lucky005, on both Twitter and Instagram now.
Ooh, shit, he changed.
Changed
his Twitter. My Instagram is DCJuniorBFSB. And then my Twitter is DCJunior13. Also, please, guys, we are close to getting 300 subscribers. Hopefully, by the time this comes out, we will already be there. But if we're not, please keep supporting. Like we said, we have a goal of 500 subscribers. That's 500 subscribers. Once we get to that number, we'll wow, can't talk. It's the end, and I can't talk. We will be going to a streaming platform, streaming service once we get 500 subs. The YouTube will still be here. You'll still get the clips and all that other shit. But as for the audio, it will be going on a streaming service. So, get to 500 subs, you guys will be able to listen to this shit on. I don't know yet. I don't know. Hey, maybe when we get close to it, we'll let you guys choose what we're going to be on. Maybe. Yeah. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Because then you guys just choose where you want to listen to it. iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher. I think that's the podcast one. What else? SoundCloud. Whatever you guys want, or fucking, hey, Jay-Z, hit me up, Title Boy. I can be a rock boy. It's easy.
The first Title podcast?
No, they have a bunch, actually. They have shitloads.
The first best one.
The first interracial best one done in an apartment. And
yeah, we'll be on top of that chart.
That's how we pitch it to Jay-Z. Like, look, we the best podcast that is interracial, that is done in an apartment after work on Wednesdays.
I can't do a Jay-Z impression.
I'm not going to do mine because then, yeah, fuck you guys.
Well, of course you can do it. You're black.
Of course I'm black. He loves Beyonce.
Yeah.
I do.
And her sister.
Whoa. Hey.
Have you seen her sister?
Hey.
What? Hey.
We respect Solange.
Yeah, I respect you too.
We can objectify Beyonce. But Solange, we got to respect, okay?
Yep. Respect how hot she is.
Mark! Seriously. Crossing the line, all right? My blackness is... I'm triggered right now. Please. Respect Solange. You have anything sexual to say about the Knowles, Carter family, Beyonce? Thank you.
What about Janelle?
Janelle Monáe?
Yeah, can I say something about her?
She don't like niggas.
I'm not one.
Mark! Your racism! God! No, but, yeah, she said something about her being pansexual, which means she likes men and women, but I believe her significant other is a woman.
Yeah.
If I believe that right. So, I think she just likes women. But she's, like, I think she's just kind of giving us hope.
Oh, like keeping you like, hey, like, you can still, hey, if you're good enough, you can still.
Man, look, I'll wear Janae Monáe ass out. Take the little pantsuits off and. All right, I'm gonna end it here before I get in trouble.
Scissor too.
Just all right. I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. All right. No. We're not going there with scissor. We're not doing that. All right. Whatever. All right. Like we always say, if I don't know, you don't know. Mark don't know. Fuck Mark. How do I know you? And thanks for watching. Peace.
Who really knows? Got it out.
Let's go.